Ever bought something online and immediately thought, wait, why did I just do that? Or looked up from your phone to realize you've been scrolling for an hour longer than you meant to? Ever walked into a store for one thing and walked out with 3 bags? If you felt that, you should know it wasn't an accident. That little pang of confusion, that feeling of losing control, it was designed. See, there's a hidden playbook being used against you. Marketers, advertisers, and social media algorithms are using psychological tactics to influence what you buy, what you believe, and even how you feel. They are systematically weaponizing your own mind against you. They've studied how your brain works, and they're exploiting its natural glitches for their own profit and influence. Today, we're going to expose that playbook. I'll show you the exact cognitive biases they use, how they're turned against you, and, most importantly, how you can flip the script and regain control. This isn't just about occasionally wasting money on stuff you don't need. The stakes are much higher. This constant manipulation chips away at your ability to think for yourself. It makes you burn through your most valuable assets, your time, your money, and your attention. It can lead you to hold passionate but incorrect beliefs, to vote against your own best interests, and to live with a constant, low-level hum of anxiety you just can't place. They've found the bugs in the human operating system, and they are running programs to exploit them every single day. The first step to fighting back is to understand the weapons being used against you. So, let's get into their playbook. The authority bias. First up is one of the most powerful weapons, the authority bias. Our brains are wired with a handy shortcut. When someone who looks like they're in charge tells us to do something, we tend to do it, often without a second thought. It's a mental shortcut that usually saves us time and energy, but it's also incredibly easy to exploit. The most chilling example of this comes from the famous Milgram experiments in the 1960s. In these studies, ordinary people were willing to administer what they believed were increasingly painful, even dangerous, electric shocks to a stranger just because a man in a lab coat told them to continue. A shocking 65% of participants went all the way to the maximum 450-volt level, demonstrating that a perceived authority figure can make good people do disturbing things. So how is this used against you now? Think about it. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this toothpaste. Dermatologists approved skincare. These are textbook authority bias triggers. That actor in a white lab coat on TV isn't a doctor, but your brain sees the symbol of authority and instantly lowers its guard. Political figures, financial, gurus, and celebrities are all presented as authorities, and we're conditioned to give their words extra weight without really checking the facts. So how do you fight back? It's simple, but it's not always easy. Practice respectful questioning. The next time you see an endorsement, ask yourself, is this person a real expert in this specific area? Are they getting paid to say this? What are their credentials? That simple pause to vet the authority is your best defense. Look at the last expert who gave you advice. Was it the data you trusted, or just the suit? Social proof and conformity. Next on the list is social proof. This is our natural tendency to look at what other people are doing and assume it's the correct way to behave. If everyone's doing it, it must be right. We see a long line outside a restaurant and assume the food is amazing. It's another one of those mental shortcuts that helps us get by. But marketers and algorithm designers have turned it into a weapon of mass influence. This is the engine that drives the internet. Amazon shows you what customers also bought, or slaps on a bestseller tag. Social media platforms push trending topics and show you how many thousands of people like to post. These aren't just helpful features, they are finely tuned instruments of social proof. They create an illusion of popularity and consensus, tapping into your fear of being the one who's missing out. This creates a feedback loop. The more popular something seems asterisk, the more popular it becomes, regardless of its actual quality. It's how so-so products become smash hits and how fringe ideas can suddenly look like they're mainstream. The defense: you have to consciously separate popularity from quality. When you see a bestseller tag, ask yourself, is this really the best product, or just the best marketed one? Make a point to read the negative reviews, not just the glowing 5-star ones. When a topic is trending, ask, is this actually important, or did an algorithm just force it in front of millions of eyeballs? By stepping back from the wisdom of the crowd, you can start making choices based on what you actually want, not what everyone else is being told to want. The scarcity principle. Have you ever felt that sudden, desperate urge to buy something because the website screamed, only 2 left in stock, or flash sale ends in 10 minutes? If you have, you've been hit by the scarcity principle. This is our built-in belief that we place a higher value on things that are hard to get and a lower value on things that are easy to get. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a powerful motivator that hijacks our rational brain. Marketers weaponize scarcity all the time. Limited edition products, exclusive offers, and countdown timers are all designed to create a sense of urgency and stop you from thinking too hard. They want to rush you into a decision before your logical mind can step in and ask, do I really need this? Can I even afford it? This is especially effective because it plays on our primal fear of loss. The pain of losing out on an opportunity often feels stronger than the pleasure of gaining something. They know this, and they use it to drive impulse buys. The strategy is often built on an illusion that limited supply might not be so limited after all. But authenticity isn't the point, triggering your anxiety is. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are. Algorithms use this by showing you bestsellers or trending topics to create a consensus. Like the courtiers of Renaissance Italy, you begin to soften your stance and bend your spine just to avoid the discomfort of disapproval. Fighting back requires one simple rule: enforce a mandatory cooling-off period. The moment you feel that rush from a scarcity tactic, stop. Walk away from the screen or leave the store. Give yourself 24 hours. Almost every time, that intense urge to buy will fade, and you can make a decision with a clear head. The urgency is an illusion they create, and you can break it with a little bit of time. If the trending tab disappeared, would your opinion stay the same? The framing effect. Picture this: you're at the grocery store. You see 2 packages of ground beef. One is labeled 80% lean, and the other is 20% fat. Which one sounds healthier? Most people will go for 80% lean, even though they're the exact same product. That's the framing effect in action. It's a cognitive bias where we make decisions based on whether the options are presented with positive or negative slants. This is one of the most subtle weapons because it doesn't change the facts, it just changes how you feel about them. Political messaging is a masterclass in framing. Is it a tax cut or tax relief for the rich? Is it a surge of immigrants or a humanitarian crisis? The words are chosen to trigger a specific emotional response before you even have a chance to analyze the issue. News headlines, product descriptions, investment pitches, they are all framed to guide you toward a predetermined conclusion. A new policy can be framed by the jobs it will create, a gain, or by the jobs that will be lost if we don't pass it, a loss. The second one is almost always more persuasive because of our natural aversion to loss. Machiavelli noted that successful rulers, like Cesare Borgia, influenced outcomes by letting the people believe they were the ones receiving justice. By framing a situation, such as a sale, that is actually the original price, marketers control the narrative of your perceived win. They don't change the product, they change the room you see it in. If I change the discount label to standard price, would you still feel the same urge to click? To defend against framing, you have to become a reframer. Whenever you're given a choice or a piece of information, mentally rephrase it in the opposite frame. If a product is 92% fat-free, reframe it as contains 8% fat. If a political argument is all about protecting our jobs, ask yourself what the other side of that argument looks like, such as limiting consumer choice. This mental exercise shatters the initial frame and lets you see the issue from more than one angle, leading to a much clearer and more rational decision. If you're finding this breakdown useful and want to learn more about how to protect yourself from this stuff, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're all in this fight together. The halo effect. Why do companies pay celebrities millions just to hold up a product they probably don't even use? The answer is the halo effect. This is our brain's tendency to let our overall impression of a person dictate our feelings about their specific traits. If we see someone as attractive, successful, or likable, we automatically assume they're also intelligent, trustworthy, and kind. Marketers use this to create a brand halo. They pair their product with a beloved celebrity, and all those warm, positive feelings you have for the celebrity get transferred right onto the product. You might admire an athlete for their dedication and grit. When you see them endorse a sneaker, your brain forges an unconscious link. That brand must represent dedication and grit. You don't consciously decide to do this, it just happens. This effect is so strong it can make us ignore a company's bad behavior or a product's flaws. The defense here is to practice compartmentalization. Think of it as putting up a mental wall. When you see an endorsement, consciously separate the person from the product. Ask, okay, I like this actor, but setting that aside, what are the actual merits of this coffee? Are there better or cheaper options? Judge the item on its own terms. An actor might be brilliant in a movie, but that doesn't make them an expert on watches. Recognizing that is how you break the halo. If that product was recommended by a stranger, would you still find it excellent? False and malleable memory. This next one is probably the most unsettling of all. Your memory is not a perfect recording of the past. It's a reconstructive process, and it can be shockingly easy to alter. The work of psychologist Elizabeth Loftus famously showed this. In her car crash study, witnesses who were asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other gave much higher speed estimates than those who were asked how fast they hit each other. Even more telling, the word smashed made people more likely to falsely remember seeing broken glass that wasn't there. Now, this vulnerability is being put on steroids by artificial intelligence. Emerging research shows that AI chatbots, using suggestive and conversational language, can significantly increase the creation of false memories. One recent study found that misleading chatbots could implant false details with surprising effectiveness. Imagine an AI shopping assistant saying, "Remember how much you loved the sleek design of our last model? You'll love this new one even more." That leading question doesn't just suggest a future feeling, it can actually implant a positive memory of a past product you might not have even liked. They don't have to change the public record, they just have to change your personal one. The only way to fight this is with a heavy dose of digital literacy and critical awareness. Be deeply skeptical of information given to you conversationally by an AI. When an algorithm reminds you of something, double-check it against your own records or objective facts. The key is to understand that your memory is impressionable. Treating your own recollections with a healthy bit of skepticism, especially when talking to persuasive technology, isn't paranoia anymore, it's a necessary mental defense. Do you remember the product being that good, or did the ad just tell you that it was? Authority bias, social proof, scarcity, framing, the halo effect, and malleable memory. And that's just scratching the surface of the weapons in their arsenal. These are used in combination, every single day, in the ads you see, the news you read, and the feeds you scroll through. They work because they target the fundamental, often unconscious, wiring of your brain. They are designed to bypass your rational mind and get an automatic, emotional reaction. But by naming them, by understanding how they work, you've already taken the biggest and most important step toward disarming them. You can take back control. It starts with a pause. Just a moment of critical thought before you click, before you buy, before you believe. It starts with asking simple questions. Who is telling me this? Why now? And what are they conveniently leaving out? You have the power to be more than just a data point in their algorithm or a sale on their chart. You have the power to think for yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these biases have you noticed being used on you lately? Drop your story in the comments below. By sharing our experiences, we all get better at spotting these tactics in the wild. And if this video armed you with some new knowledge, please hit the like button and subscribe for more dives into the psychology of our modern world. Stay skeptical and stay in control.